Today on Sportsman's Life, we're enjoying a little bit of an adult libation because we're not hunting, we're not shooting.
Cheers.
We're simply going to go out and help Jeff do some things, and no telling what we'll get into while we're here. You know, there's some pretty good fishing to be had down here, so I think before it's all over with, somebody got a trot line out?
Well, we're going to put a trot line, but you see the pond right over here. We're going to fish that this evening, I think, Larry. What do you think? A little pond fishing for some.
I grew up fishing creeks and ponds, and so I kind of like that. Luke, are you in for the game too?
You better believe it. Know right where that trot line is. And guess what we're going to use for bait, Larry?
Let me guess. We're going to use brontosaurus liver.
We're out of that.
Oh,
but we do have some wild boar liver, fresh wild boar liver. So we're going to. How about this? Catch some in the creek, maybe have a fish fry, and then come back here and late this evening.
Wrap the evening up with a little pond fishing. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
As I wrote in an article not too long ago, may this lifestyle go on forever. What could be more fun? Being out with buddies and making ready. We're already thinking about fall and help you, Jeff, get a little bit of the work done and have much fun in the process.
We've got a lot of hunts coming up. Of course, hog hunting all the time, but deer hunting will be right around the corner. And this is the time of year to get stuff done. You know, of course, I filled all the feeders a few weeks ago. I fill them every couple months. But
yeah.
I did the hard work. But no, it's like we have a timer we need to replace on one of the feeders. I got to put a battery in there. We've got a trail cam that the batteries keep dying on. So we've got a solar-powered kit that we're going to put on that. So stay tuned, folks. We're gonna get to all of that fun stuff and maybe a little evening pond fishing as well.
And we're coming up, ladies and gentlemen, to the famous hog crossing.
They do cross here.
And they do cross here.
Exactly, yeah. Looks like I need to do a little spraying down here as well. Yeah, boy.
I don't know about you. I kind of like natural things as long as there ain't any chiggers in there. I think that's the way to have it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a slithery critter or two.
Will this thing drive up on top of that little...
Here, walk behind me.
Walk behind you. We used to fish those little creeks a little bit wider than what's down here and use trot lines and drop lines. And I'll tell you what, you'd get, they'd use live perch and those blasted things get on that hook.
Oh,
and, you walk out there and most time we were wading up to about chest deep in water, and you look out there and that line just going away and you go, you got a big catfish. You grab that line and start working toward it. Yep. And all of a sudden here comes this cottonmouth out of the water with a 6 by 8 foot wide open mouth, and you can walk on water when that happens.
You're not kidding. He's got you on the agenda.
I'm here to prove that you can do that.
Yep, I remember when I was a kid up on Pecan Bayou by our house, we used to set these set hooks out. Bamboo poles, actually canes.
Yeah, right.
Cane poles. I never will forget. My dad had a lantern. He was holding that down. We put out 8 or 10 of these things and bait them up with cut bait. I reached down like that to pull one out, and there was a cottonmouth right there underneath that thing. I never will forget that. I could have been over 8 or 10 years old.
Yeah. How long did you keep your hand there, and how long did you stay there?
Oh boy, I know not long, Larry. It's scary. I still remember it, and my God, that's been 130 years.
100-yard dash and no time flat.
I think I could move at age 10.
Jeff, what we got there?
That is wild hog liver.
Wild hog liver.
Right. That's it. That's the last of that.
Little chunks cut. We're ready to go. This is going to go on a trot line, and
Well,
this will bring us some dinner.
Let's bait the trot line up with the wild boar liver. See what
one of the many things that you can use a wild hog for.
Another good use.
You hold that, I'm gonna go get the boat.
Okay. All right, I'll go here and help him, Larry. Through a couple of floods in this creek, but I do see it hooked up to a branch on the bank over there.
Yeah, that'd probably be a place to start.
Larry, I've used that old boat and paddled hogs out of the woods with it, ducks. And it looks like it's been used a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. It's got character.
It's got character, buddy. It does.
And I see we've already got our first hook up right now. It looks like about an 80-pound stump.
It amazes me that that more debris hasn't come down this creek. Because this water, where I'm standing about, 6 weeks ago, there's water all the way back up way back up on the banks, you know. Maybe we'll luck out here. I hope.
Well, regardless, it's worth the effort. Look what Jeff doing out there.
Well, we lucked out because our trot line about 30 feet up from where we've got it tied, there's been some big water coming through this creek in this spring. I just knew that a log would have washed it all, knocked the line out.
Right.
It didn't happen, but right there we got snagged on a log, but lucked out now, and it's open sailing. Jeff's going to set up, keep baiting that trot line down about another, 50 feet.
Right.
And we're going to catch some catfish here this evening.
No telling what. I mean, this is right off of Lake Fork.
Yeah,
there could be a 25-pound bass show up here.
Well, in the spring they're down here. And I tell you what else is comes up out of Fork. And this, you've been in on it, is those white bass.
Yes.
Like late February, March, something like that. They suckers, I've been here when they had this creek packed. And use a little beetle spin or a road runner. We do most of that back what we call the woods back there.
Right, exactly.
Just toss it out there and slow crank it in. But I'm optimistic about this. That's good, man. I was afraid we was going to have our line all really fouled up, but not so. This is just too much fun,
It is. Jeff's down there doing all the work. I'm sitting up here where there are no cottonmouth moccasins, not normally at least.
Well, we have to have a film, a film man, don't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was so tickled. It's pretty warm. I'm back here sweating, and I watched you guys pull that boat down there, and I'm sure glad I had a camera in my hand instead of pulling the boat.
Of being the cameraman.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, boys, I was able to bait the trot line. We had a few hooks that were bent straight. I think it's just from the high water. When it rains, this water gets rushing through here, and there's some big logs that come down, and I think they were probably hooked onto some of the trot lines, some of the hooks, and just bent them straight. Took those ones off, but baited the rest. The trot line looks great. It's solid. So hopefully,
you bet we've got about 4 or 5. probably about 4 hours before dark, and it's baited, and we'll come back and check it just before dark and rebait. And then it's going to be hard not to run that thing after about an hour after dark. Come back down here, because you know, it's the summertime, and although a lot of those baits are in the shade right now, and it's very likely we'll have a fish or two.
Oh yeah, once the sun starts to dip, I think those fish will be moving up here thick. And,
you bet.
I fully suspect we'll have a few on the line.
We will, and then the pond, I say we might just fish in the pond up here close by too.
Yeah, I've already stocked it with probably 30 or so. You know, I'd say that are larger, some really good ones that I've caught out of here. So I fully suspect we catch a few out of there as well. Bet. So lots
Sounds
of
like
fun.
a plan to me.
It's a plan. It is a plan. All right, well, let's take a ride. Let's hit the other side of the property. Let's go set up that trail cam.
Stealth cam, yeah, where our stealth camera that sends the remote pictures. But you know, that thing has worked great. The stealth camera sends the pictures to our cell phone. It couldn't work better, but now we've got the solar panel that will keep it charged, and that'll eliminate batteries all the time. So
that's been our issue, because the batteries will last maybe 30 days or so,
something like that,
and then they start to go weak on us. But we get a lot of pictures, so I mean, I guess that's okay.
Yep.
But that solar panel is
going to help us a lot.
Ought to help us a bunch.
But we'll go put it up. What do y'all say?
Let's do that.
Look at that blind right there.
I've got it in the background right there.
That's a little 4x4 snap lock hunting blind that I have hunted out of probably 7 or 10 years, who knows, a long time, and we moved it over here to Jeff's. I have spent many pleasant hours in that little hunting blind. Killed a lot of game out of it. I remember a couple of nice bucks and countless hogs. But now it's here, the snap lock hunting blind on Jeff's place, and we're going to put up a solar. This is actually a solar panel that powers a battery that's going to keep our camera running up here, right?
Yep, we have a stealth cam camera over here that takes pictures for us, and of course the batteries, as we talked about earlier, have gone out on us, which they do periodically because we get a lot of pictures. So we're going to hook this up. We're going to give it a whirl and see how that thing works, huh?
Yep. Basically, just face this. It opens up here. Face this south, you know, and the right angle, and there'll be plenty of sun come through, and then this will take the place of our batteries. This is some type of battery. Once we plug it in, you can punch that button right there, and it'll tell you how this is charged. So
nice.
Let's set her up. What do you say?
Let's do it.
What are we doing there, Jeff?
Well, we're going to pull the batteries out of this thing. You won't need batteries once we get the solar panel hooked up, so these will be trash. There we go. Alrighty.
And then we shall hook this rascal up to the post where this will be facing to the south or southwest, and it'll keep this charged, which will in turn.
Why are you putting it to the south?
Well, that's where it'll get the most sun.
Yeah.
You know, if we were surveying, we'd say an azimuth of about 270 degrees.
The azimuth of about 270 degrees. Okay.
Something like that.
Sir.
In this part of the world. Yep.
Okay.
So we'll set it up and then take a look at it after we get her set up. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
It sure does. Yep. Got an antenna on the whole bit.
Woohoo!
Man, I'll tell you what.
Pretty slick deals, really.
Yeah.
That'll kind of hold that there.
What camera is this?
Stealth cam.
Stealth cam?
Yep, that is a stealth cam.
The folks sent this to me too. I guess this would work on other devices too.
I got a feeling as long as that connection down there on the bottom.
Yeah, it'll have to fit that
out.
connection. Yeah.
That's plugged right in, didn't it, Jeff?
Yep, plugged right in.
It's going to save us a bunch of,
nice.
you know.
Checking on batteries.
Yeah, because we run through batteries, but we get a lot of pictures.
Many pictures.
It's like Christmas time. Every evening or every morning when you get your little, check out your little, what you got.
True. Well, I say, boys, that we move on to the next project.
That sounds like a plan. I think that's going to work good.
Too bad, buddy.
Yeah.
We got her done.
Alrighty. Take a look at that. Looks like peaches.
Anything can and does happen in the great outdoors. Look at that peach. Now, we just drove by and saw that peach, but we're going to do a close look at that peach. Tell me that does not look like a peach.
Sure does.
But in fact, it's not a peach.
How about that?
Folks, we were driving by, and Larry asked Jeff, he said, "You got any peach trees back in here?" Jeff said, "Well, I don't think I do." So we backed up. We're way back in the woods, not far from a creek back here. Sure enough, I've never seen that.
Just hold it there one more time, just like you're doing. And I guarantee you, to me, that looks like one of them Fredericksburg peaches that are absolutely good to eat. But you know what, Luke? I don't think we're going to eat that one.
What little I know about mushrooms is very little. That coloration right there, you probably wouldn't want to be eating. So we'll put him, and there's another little bitty one right there. Awesome. You never know what you're going to find in the great outdoors, Larry. You know? Look at that.
Part of keeping your feeders and your ranch, running like we do, things happen, and the timer went out on one of our feeders here, so it's a project, and so we got a brand new battery, but we have a timer, so we've got to put this timer in and a battery over here and get this one back up and running. So that's our next little project. So boys, you ready to do it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll stand and watch. Here you go. Bingo.
I think it
Now
worked.
it's done. All right, I'll come back and tape this thing up here in a bit.
You'll be ready to go. 25 hogs just appeared out of nowhere looking, waiting for us to leave. I'm just kidding.
Look at that.
Big old water snake.
He's got a pretty good sized catfish.
It looked like it. Best I could tell, that thing was 6 or 8 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got some in there he can't get.
Well, he's helping me out because I think what he has is a bullhead, actually.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of little bullheads like that in this pond.
Yeah.
And every time I catch them, I take them out.
Yeah.
So he's helping me. Wow, that's amazing.
Look at him, head up.
Look at that. He let him go.
Oh, that's crazy.
Before that, he got kind of concerned. Look how far he's got the head out of the water.
Wow.
Now, he's a non-venomous snake. I don't know what he is, but
I don't know. Yeah, that's.
You know, it's one of those snakes we used to call Natrix rhombifera, but now it's called something else years later.
Yeah, there you go.
That is cool, guys. He had that fish in his mouth for a long time.
Kept it on top of the water.
Top,
Yep.
but he couldn't swallow it.
It's too big.
It's too big.
And those fins.
Spines, yeah.
Those spines.
That is cool.
That is the craziest
That's
thing.
wild.
That's
All right,
the
you
first
never
time
know
I've
what you're
ever
gonna
seen
see,
that.
but
You
Yeah.
never know when you're out here. That's the fun thing about being out, in the woods like this. You never know what you find.
Well, I say you boys put some of that wild hog liver and let me get some video of y'all catching some.
I'm gonna turn this off and hand it to you.
Okay.
Hog liver. And we already know, I've been teasing on the last show about all the cottonmouths, but that the water snakes. That wasn't a cottonmouth, but that was a big old, we used to call it a natrix kind of snake, a big water snake, and it had a catfish about that long in its mouth.
He did.
But he didn't want to let go, but he couldn't swallow it, and he couldn't do anything else with it. So finally, I guess he just decided, well, I can't do anything with it, so.
Well, folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and it's time to do some outdoor cooking. You know, when I was a boy growing up in very rural northeast Texas, up in Red River County, my dad was a poultry chicken raiser. He raised thousands of chickens. Well, you might guess we had a lot of big chicken barbecues. Now, the way Dad did it this was back in the late 50s and the 60s when I was a young boy. He would dig a pit about 3 foot deep, about 2 foot wide, put some expanded metal over it, to hold the chicken halves. Build a fire of pecan or hickory wood, let the coals die down, and then he would cook the chickens over that. Well, we've got a little bit more modern way to do it. We're going to use the old country barbecue pit. It's actually a fire pit, if you will, with a grill over the top. So we're not going to dig a hole. There's a more modern way to do that now. But we're going to cook it on our old country barbecue pit. You can get these things at Buc-ee's. That's one of the many places that carry the old country barbecue pits. But we're going to get it fired up. I want to use some of this B&B charcoal pecan wood. I'll probably take this and split it and get it in a little bit smaller pieces. But I'm going to let this wood burn down to coals, and then we're going to put those chickens on there just like my dad used to do, except we're going to do it kind of the modern way. So we'll get a fire going and get this pit in operation and take it on from there. I think you're going to enjoy this, and I sure wish you were able to be here with me and eat some of this barbecue chicken. But you'll see it as we go with it. I'll show you step by step how we do it. Well, folks, I have stepped up my game from the little old country barbecue pit right here. Got this at Buc-ee's. I bet you've seen them at Buc-ee's right up in the front of the store. Also a little cooker, but a little cooker. Look what we're going to cook with today. This is another unit, old country barbecue pit. Check this out. We're going to cook some chickens and a little wild pork backstrap on this thing today. I've got some good dry wood in here and some lump charcoal. B&B charcoal. This stuff right here you cannot beat, folks. This is the wood, kiln dried wood. It's pecan that we're going to cook with. Now put some lump charcoal in it down in the very bottom to get things going. So let's torch the fire off, but do check out this grill. It's got a grate that swings. You'll see it in action in just a little bit here. This grate swings right over. We'll get our coals going good and cook us some barbecue chicken. I wish my dad was around these days to see this. It's way stepped up the pace from the old pit in the ground that he used to cook the chickens on. We'll get it going. Cook us some good chicken. What do you say? Well, folks, we will let our fire burn down, get these chunks of very dry, kiln dried actually, pecan wood, let them get down to burning really good, and then we will put some chicken and some wild pork on this old country barbecue pit, and I only wish you were here to help me eat this. Well, my friends, it is on. We have it going. Now here's our Best of Texas barbecue sauce right here on a cool spot, just so it'll stay warm. Couple of chickens, one chicken, 2 chicken halves, piece of good pork loin over there. You can see our coals are just right. Now, we're going to go old school on you. My dad used a deal called a swab stick. Here is a swab stick. He used a green hickory limb and some clean cloth on there. And what he would do, dabble that in the barbecue sauce. And that's what we're doing. Saturate that. Slap that on the chicken. And then that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to baste this chicken several times with the barbecue sauce as it cooks. Of course, we just now put it on. I'll give you a little picture a little bit later of this stuff cooking. I'm going to put a little bit on the pork. Make sure that it's doctored up just right. How about this though? I mean, we could cook enough chicken on this thing to feed an army. I just wanted to do this. This is kind of give you a little synopsis, if you will, of how easy it is to cook, but a lot of fun cooking with this wood. I've got a chunk of mesquite back on there too from that B&B charcoal, but doing a great job. And it's far enough that the meat is far enough from the wood, we don't have to worry about burning it. So I'll show you about another 10-15 minutes. I'll show you how our chicken's coming along. How about it? Well, friends, here is some old school barbecue chicken. Put the internal thermometer on them, and they're 165, 168. Piece of pork is right there about the same temp. Tell you what we'll do. We'll slice into a little bit of this. I know my dad's probably looking down and saying, "What has the boy done? He's cooking on some kind of a What did this thing do? Who invented this? Way better than the old pit in the ground, Dad, I'll tell you. Let's cut into this and take a look. What do you say? Well, folks, let's check this pork out first. Let's cut into this and see what you might think. Oh yeah, that's about 170 degrees. That is going to be so good. Put some of our barbecue sauce on that. That's going to make a meal. We'll take a look at our chicken now. Let's check into this chicken breast right here. Take a cut. Oh yeah, look how tender. That's about 165, 168 degrees right there. I say we put this on a plate, and I wish I could somehow transpose you from where you are to this great barbecue, but I can't do it, so I guess I'm gonna have to eat it all by myself. Hope you enjoyed our little cooking segment today, folks, as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you.
And a special thanks to these fine sponsors: Air Force Air Guns, B&B Charcoal, Dallas Safari Club, Hornady, Pyramid Air, Nielsen Specialty Ammo, Sightmark, Smokin' Tex, Snap Block Hunting Blinds, Texas Raised Hunting Products, and Striper Express.